do influencers like Muskan Karia, who obviously use their bodies to gain attention, influence, and eventually money, trigger us so much? I've been thinking a lot about this, and I think it's ultimately tied to how we see capital. Pierre Bourdieu said that money was not the only form of capital that could get you ahead in life. Of course, it's part of your economic capital, which includes money and assets. But then there's also your cultural capital, your education, your sophistication, your taste, and the one that I hate the most, your social capital, which is basically your networks, your prestige, your status. And finally, symbolic capital, which is your legitimacy, your respect, your honor. I think that he misses out on a very important capital, especially for women, which is our bodies and sexuality, which historically has been so important not for the women who possess this capital, but for the men who were associated with these women. For instance, having a drop-dead gorgeous wife adds points to the husband's social capital. Having a pretty virgin daughter added to the father's symbolic capital. And having a beautiful model selling products added to the company's economic capital. And that has never really triggered anyone, I think. But with Muskan, there is no man associated with her who's benefiting from this capital. She has full autonomy and full control over it. She's monetizing the hell out of her desirability, the attention she's getting, the beauty, the aesthetic, everything. And that is what is triggering. It's triggering because it collapses the myth of meritocracy under capitalism. When we see women making money in a way that we think definitely does not require merit or toil, it really opens up our eyes to how unfair the conditions under capitalism are. Especially for men who are going for a 9-to-5 job and actually toiling for getting money, which is nowhere near the amount of money that Muskan would make, and knowing that they can never do what she does because their bodies are just not marketable like that. Which is sad in the sense that I don't think bodies should be commodified at all, ever, under any circumstances, because these are bodies. Like, I think we have the most intimate relationship of all with our own bodies. And there shouldn't be a market deciding which body is more profitable and which is not. But the reason why this would never trigger me is that if Muskan is making 35 lakhs a month posting thirst traps on Instagram, I ultimately believe that the net negative impact that has on the world would be way less than the net negative impact a business earning 35 lakhs a month would have. Because if a business is profitable like that, it would most likely participate in unfair labor practices, or would be polluting the environment, or I don't know, would create monopolistic conditions in the market which would crush smaller businesses. That's how they would survive. But I'm just soliloquizing at this point, which I recently learned is a very interesting word for just thinking out loud. But ultimately the question is, if you hate Muskan Karia's content and really hate it, don't want her to be able to make money like that, why?